they both said that Atletico Madrid are weighing up a move to sign Andy Robertson. Ornstein said Theo Hernandez is out of the frame. Fabrizio said Atletico hope to sign Robbo for a free or for a small fee. Same agent as Trent, i.e. his brother, I think. So the plot is thickening in a direction I don't think we thought it would thicken. I think we all supposed we'd see at least another year of Andy.
It came out of nowhere a bit yesterday, didn't it? I think like the general consensus, or at least the default process I had at the start of the summer, is we're going to sign a left back, and that looks like it's going to be Kirkers, and then it'll be Tsimikas will go because you probably get more value out of selling Tsimikas, and Robert just stays until the end of his contract, and everyone lives, happy ever after into the sunset. But then this has thrown a proverbial spanner into the works, hasn't it? And then the more and more it sort of landed yesterday, and as the day went on, the more it kind of made a bit of sense to me, actually. And not in a good way. I mean, it'll be gutted to see him go, and I don't think it's necessarily the right decision. But for himself, I kind of feel like it probably does make a bit of sense. And we've seen recently he's given a few comments about his future, hasn't he? And especially on national team duty last week, he alluded that there have been contract talks or talks about his future, but it seemed a little bit ominous to me. That raised a few alarm bells. That I wonder if I think he would love to stay at Liverpool, but I'm wondering if he knows that he's not going to be first choice next season, and I wonder if he's kind of thinking his body might be starting to fizzle out at the top level of the Premier League anyway, or the fact that he's just got a nice new offer, something to do, a nice new a country to go and try. Even though, to be honest, I'm worried for his skin. If he goes there into Madrid and doesn't take a factor 50 every day, he's got a bit of a worry. But no, it made a little bit more sense as the day went on yesterday from his perspective. I'm sure we'll come on to what it means for us, but I'm wondering whether he's got a chance for a new challenge, which he probably didn't see coming, and he probably thinks, maybe I have got 2 or 3 years left playing first team, not necessarily in the Premier League, not necessarily top level for Liverpool. And it gives a sort of it reminded me of the Kieran Trippier move a couple of years ago, which kind of came out of nowhere when he went from Spurs to Atlético, and they built the whole of their creative output around Trippier. I wonder if they got, for Atlético's point of view, that's what they're thinking there. And he's maybe been given a proposal for, this suits me down to the ground. I like it.
Yeah, I think there's going to come a point where one of these managers or sides finally twig that when we let these veterans of ours go, it's because their legs have fallen off, not because they're getting a real bargain. I mean, Robbie, I get it from Andy's point of view. Liverpool have clearly signalled that they're in no hurry or have little interest in renewing his contract. So he's sitting at home with his family and going, in 12 months' time, I don't have a wage, quite frankly. I know he's got lots in the bank, but I don't have a wage. And here's a team, a good one at that, who's going to give me a contract, I presume 3 years minimum, something like that. So from his point of view, although he'd leave heavy-heartedly, I think it's a no-brainer. From our point of view, it's not ideal, obviously. We needed a new left-back, and Robbo wasn't at his peak last season. In fact, he's clearly past it. The idea of getting an exciting, pacey young one like Kirk is brill. But we knew we'd need backup. And him and his experience and his personality and his role in the leadership group seemed ideal backup, a great solution for us for another season. Didn't suit the player, but it kind of leaves us with another task to accomplish this summer now, is my thinking.
Yeah, I think that I've found the Robertson thing quite interesting for the best part of a year. Like, he obviously last year wasn't as great as we won the league, but I think it was obvious at times throughout the seasons that if we can see the goal, or we'd have a problem here or there. There were moments where Robertson was at the scene of the crime where he hadn't been in previous seasons, and that's when the talk of us needing a new left back in particular really started to ramp up. I often found Robertson's language around kind of moving forward quite interesting. He's been quite combative, I think, when people have kind of hinted that he's getting on a bit, or he might be slightly over the hill. He's had none of it. At every single turn, he's backed himself. And I think I agree with you, Rob. I think that, from our perspective, looking at it from the outside in, we're looking at it going, well, he's a brilliant person to maybe mentor any young incoming, high quality left back. But I think the way he sees it is I think he sees that he should be starting week in, week out, and he should be first choice. And I think there's then why the questions around that, because when you've got a player with his experience and also with the clout he's got in the dressing room, if he's not happy, then there can be knock-ons to that. Now listen, he's the consummate professional, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's the type of player, he wouldn't, I doubt he start like kicking up a massive fuss and creating issues in the dressing room, but it's something you'd have to consider. I think you contrast that with someone like Tsimikas. That lad, for the last 5 years, he's never really kicked the he's not kicked the fuss up at any point about playing second fiddle to Robertson. In fact, last season, I mean, I've always been quite a skeptic on him, but when he came into the fold last season, there wasn't a massive drop off, is all I'll say. I think for the first time, the level between them looked comparable. I still think Robertson is better, and obviously, ideal world, you have him as your first choice backup. But I just think at this point in time, it does come down to what the player wants, and I think he sees at least 2 or 3 years at the top for himself, and I just don't think that's going to kind of fall in line with what we see him as.